Oh, goody. Two Big Bear AI videos in one day. That's right. The stock has been getting a lot of tension recently as people are telling me, "Will, what's going on with this securities fraud? Oh, is this they're getting sued? Is this the end for Big Bear?" Oh my gosh, I see this everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. Couple things, I got to investigate a little bit because personally, I see all of these class action lawsuits every other day on especially small cap companies. And you see them on big cap companies even more actually, but we're looking at Big Bear AI from a perspective of this lawsuit that was recently announced that is going against them for misaccounting or potentially securities fraud is what's being claimed. So I decided to go do some digging, and of course, you got this law firm here that's not only did they issue this investigation into Big Bear AI Holdings, but they also are paying other companies, most likely, or maybe it's just because of, I would imagine they're paying most companies to get the news out there that they're suing Big Bear. When you take a look at the article, let's go direct to the source. This is from the law firm that is suing Big Bear. So let's take a look at it. All right, before we draw conclusions. Big Bear AI Holdings, or the company, and certain of the company's senior executives have been sued for violations of federal securities laws. The complaint asserts claims under Sections 10B and 20A of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 on behalf of investors in Big Bear AI Securities. The case is pending in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia and is captioned Prue v. Big Bear AI Holdings. So, why was Big Bear AI sued? Why are they being sued? Not was. Why are they being sued? Didn't really happen, but let's just take a look. Big Bear AI is a AI-driven technology company. So let's just read what they are saying about them before we really break this down. So this is what the law firm says. They're an AI-driven technology company that helps organizations operationalize AI by analyzing complex data and providing actionable insights in areas of national security, supply chain management, digital identity, and biometrics solutions. It provides both software and services to its customers. Big Bear AI went public via a special purpose acquisition company, SPAC, transaction, completing merging first with Gig Capital for Merger Subcorporation and subsequently with Gig Capital for Inc. Upon completion of this merger, Big Bear AI issued $200 million of unsecured convertible notes with a maturity date of December 15th, 2026. Now, the 2026 convertible notes bear interest at a rate of 6% per annum, payable semi-annually, and not including any interest payments that are settled with issuance of shares, and were convertible into 17.3 million shares of the company's common stock at an initial conversion price of $11.50. Now, then they're saying here, during that period, Big Bear AI improperly accounted for the 2026 convertible notes, causing it to misstate various items in several of the company's previously issued financial statements. The stock declines as the truth is revealed. This is where you start to this is where we start to see the copywriting issued by the law firm. The stock declines as the truth is revealed. And this is where they get investors kind of excited to maybe, yeah, let me see, what are my rights? What can I do here? It looks like the stock did drop about 9%. Oh my gosh. Not like the whole market dropped 25% or 30%. Okay. Anyway, if you purchased, I'm going to let them finish. If you purchased or otherwise acquired Big Bear securities, you may ask for a court no later than June 10th, which is the first business day after 60 days, to appoint you as lead plaintiff through counsel of your choice. To be a member of the class, you need not take any action at this time. The ability to share in any potential future recovery is not dependent on serving as lead plaintiff. Now it says, if you incurred losses, give us a call. Okay. quite common. It's quite common. And they say, we sued other companies. Check out some of the other companies we sued, from Tesla for 900 million to 420 million for Teva Pharmaceuticals. Okay. So that's what it says. Now, I had to go do some research. I'm not just going to sit here and say, guys, it's nothing, don't worry about it, because that's kind of honestly a little bit what I said when we've been analyzing Big Bear. So I threw it through ChatGPT, and I see this as a hit piece, and ChatGPT agrees with me. So ChatGPT says, yeah, I get what you mean. It definitely feels like a hit piece, especially since it's coming from a law firm fishing for clients. Let's zoom out and break this down like a CEO investor hybrid, someone who understands both the short-term emotional reaction of the market and the long-term strategic impact. What's going on here? Well, ChatGPT says this article is basically a securities class action announcement. They are extremely common, especially for small cap SPAC merger companies like Big Bear. Here's what matters most: the legal accusation. The claim is Big Bear misaccounted for its 2026 convertible notes. Sections involved, they specify that. Those are about fraud and control person liability. Now, the reality is what ChatGPT says. This doesn't necessarily mean wrongdoing was intentional, and it could stem from some poor accounting oversight or delayed restatements. Again, they just reported earnings not too long ago. My take as your strategist, this is what it says. Was this foreseeable? Yes. SPACs often have post-merger accounting challenges. Combining that with Big Bear's fast evolution in AI defense tech, and you have a recipe for missteps. No fraud necessarily, but growing pains. Is this the end of the world for Big Bear? Not at all. These lawsuits can drag on for months or years, often companies without admitting wrongdoing. If Big Bear's tech is strong and the contracts, like Palantir-style government contracts, continue growing, this won't matter much in the long run. The fundamentals matter more than a headline lawsuit. Now, when they say that this is very common, it also is showing this is a firm that always targets these types of companies for these types of accusations. Now, through some simple restates, we could see this play out pretty simple. Essentially restate and maybe a tiny bit of damages, but nothing that I would see. It says, how should investors react? Short-term traders expect volatility, but also opportunity. If the stock dips hard on news like this, which I don't know, I think it dipped about 1% today, it could be a buy the dip play depending on support zones. The long-term investors focus on revenue growth, contract wins, and the company's pivot to recurring software revenue. That's the real story. Now, what to watch for? Any official SEC investigations beyond this lawsuit, which we have not seen. If BBAI has to restate earnings again in the future quarters, and loss of key contracts or partners due to reputational risk, unlikely but possible. Whether the accounting issue affects debt covenants or cash flow. So, the final thought is you're right to question the tone. It's written to stir fear and get clicks/submissions for the law firm. That's how I saw it. That's how ChatGPT sees it. That said, don't ignore it. Treat it like smoke in the forest, not necessarily fire, but worth paying attention to if you're holding a big position. I would like to see this stock, obviously it's in the downtrend here, I'd like to see it potentially recover in this smaller trend. You see this support and resistance. Maybe we see it push up to this $2.90 range. I think that could make a lot of sense. The MACD and RSI were oversold, potentially crossing over. If that does happen, we'd be looking at a potential swing here of about 17%. That's in the near term. The long term, I mean, it's down from previous highs. If you go back a year, it's still up quite a bit, right? So take a look at the overall trend. It is started to recently pull back. And if we get rid of some of the drawings there, you could see it's still built a lot of momentum, and it's built up more market cap and a lot more interest since then. And I really like to see it when I recently was flying and seeing the tech in the airport. Now, when it comes down to next moves for Big Bear, again, we'll see if it makes that move up to $3, but we'll watch to see if there's a dip or any opportunities that present themselves at market open tomorrow. In the market open session, we trade and you can see my entries and my exits. We go live each morning. And if you want to be there, it's that second link in the description to watch me trade live and surround yourself with other like-minded individuals. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, there's a huge sale down there. It's not getting better than this, so I would encourage you to simply take a look at that second link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.